Hey, welcome back to another edition of Everything Football 62. I'm your host, Jonathan Big Tex Johnson, a.k.a. Uncle Tex, a.k.a. Professor Tex, a.k.a. Tell 'em. Before we get started, smash that like button, subscribe to the page. Got any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. Like I say all the time, keep it respectful. It's just football, baby. It's just a game. All right. Hey, man, week 16. And, hey, man, it was some very good games that was going on this past week and whatnot. We're gonna run through this real quick, and I'm going to probably give you my week 17 picks and whatnot and everything like that. First off, the Rams sell, hell of a game. Very good game. One of the best games I've seen all year long. Darnold did what Darnold did, man. He did what he did. I've been critical of Darnold for quite some time. Still critical of him. But at the same time, he won. He is the first quarterback that has over 12 wins with two different teams. That's something that's never been done and whatnot. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. That's another story, as always. But hell, it was a hell of a game. Stafford looks like, Stafford, him and Puka doing their thing and stuff like that and everything. So it's like, that was a hell of a game. Great game to see and whatnot. Philadelphia and Washington. This game could have went in any other way if Mariota stays in the game, but they're down to their third string quarterback. When you get down to your third string quarterback, it's a wrap. So it really nothing else to really say about that. It was a wrap. So Philly did what they had to do. Saquon Barkley looked like Saquon Barkley from last year, and was like pretty much the only game for the most part all year and whatnot. But he looked like that guy and everything like that. But I think it would have been probably a different story if Mariota finishes the game. But he didn't. Philadelphia wins. They clinch the East. Knock my Cowboys out. Here's what it is. Green Bay and Chicago. Another hell of a game. Caleb. Hey, man. Remember, they should have won about 4 or 5 different games last year. They should have probably made the playoffs last year, or at least at the very least won about 8 or 9 games or so. They're getting it together this year. Caleb, he's that guy. He really is that guy. I mean, we can talk a lot of shit and suck fingernails and all that dumb shit, but at the end of the day, the kid can play quarterback. He should be fun to watch going into the playoffs. That's all I'm going to say. He should be fun to watch going into the playoffs. Tampa Bay and Carolina. Hey, man. Tampa Bay had everything. Everything you want them to have. And then Bryce Young is just balling right now. He's balling. He's like, I got it. Once a quarterback, I honestly feel a good quarterback, especially a quarterback coming from the pedigree that he comes from and the things that he did in college. Once he figures that shit out, he's like, we got it. And they got a few pieces around him. I got it. Baker Mayfield, like I said, man, it's like Tampa. Definitely miss Mike Williams. But at the same time, it's like, hey, man, we'll see what happens at the end. But, hey, Carolina, that really wasn't a surprise with Carolina beating them because Carolina has been balling the last couple of weeks. And it's good to see because people want to write Young off as he's a bust. I'm like, you can't do that. The kid just been on a couple of years. How you going to do that? But, that's how it goes. Minnesota and New York, really don't care that much about this game here. McCarthy, I think, gets hurt again. New York's done. Not really much to talk about. It is what it is. Minnesota wins. I think they're probably the third straight, but a little too late. New York and New Orleans, same thing. New Orleans, I think they might have found their quarterback. We'll see. But, again, a game that's basically meaningless and whatnot. So, it is what it is. Another meaningless game, Cincinnati and Miami. Tua gets benched. I knew that. Now, during the game when they were playing last week, I forget who they was playing last week. I don't even remember. But I seen Tua laughing on the sidelines, and they're down. I'm like, that's not a good look, bro. That is not a good look. And then shortly after that, by the next day, he's benched. Rightfully so. Tua's had about 2 good years in the NFL and whatnot. He's probably going to end up being a perennial backup, and that's fine. Still make some money and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like kind of sad, but that's what it was. Cincinnati's going home for third year in a row, like I already told you, jokers. I already told y'all. Tennessee and Kansas City didn't see this really coming because even though Kansas City is missing Mahomes, they still have a defense, and the defense still allows 26 points. They have literally given up. I don't condone that, but I know how that feels when you're out of the playoffs and there's really nothing else to play for and you're done. You're done. We'll see what Tennessee does. Cam is still their quarterback. Put some pieces around the young fella, get you a nice coach and stuff like that, and we go from there. Cowboys and the Chargers figured this much. Again, a playoff offense and a stupid and a lackadaisical defense until Dallas finally wants to realize that they have to do something on defense. And even if they had Micah, they can't stop the run. They're not good. Diggs, Bland, you had guys who a couple of years had career years at corner, all pro first team guys, record setting, and these guys are not even on the fucking field. And when they get on the field, they are garbage. I'm a Cowboys fan for damn near 40 plus years. These guys are garbage, man. They need to revamp the secondary, get rid of Diggs, let him go wherever he's gonna go, see what Bland's gonna do, give him some time. But it's like, not a surprise. I expected a little bit more, but we didn't get it. Buffalo and Cleveland. Hey man, Cleveland gave him some play, and I'm gonna jump into this right here real quick and whatnot. And I said this, and I talked about James Cook and whatnot. James Cook, best back in football right about now. Allen was only 12 for 19, 130 yards. He got sacked twice. Cook, 117 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns and whatnot. Cleveland was giving him the business and whatnot and stuff like that. Allen has had about 3 or 4 games like this. Cook is a straw that stirs the drink. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, y'all might not want to hear that, but he's a straw that stirs the drink, and he should be in MVP consideration based upon what he's doing. Because if Cook's not there, they're done. They're done. But at the same time, this team right here, if they don't get it done, AFC Championship victory, they have to go to the Super Bowl. If they don't go to the Super Bowl, the team needs to be blown up. McDermott or what, they got to go. Because 5 years. And I've told you guys a lot of times, I've told you guys plenty of times, you have a 6-year window. 6-year window. You have a couple of different, what's it called? Where guys do New England's and stuff like that or whatever like that. 6-year window. If you're good, you got a 6-year window to be dominant. After then, it's done. The exception has always been New England. That's the exception. But for the most part, at the end of the day, you got about a 6-year window to get your shit together and whatnot. Atlanta, Arizona, not much to see here. Atlanta wins. Doesn't matter. Everybody's going home. I don't know what's going on with my man Kyler. I love Kyler, but I have no idea what's going on. I'm seeing stuff that he might go to the Raiders. I don't know. Have no clue. Everybody's hurt over there. Atlanta, love my man Bijan and whatnot and stuff like that. But, they end up winning and stuff. Cousins does what Cousins does, but too little, too late. Jayville and Denver, hell of a game. I wasn't expecting, but I'm not surprised. And whatnot. Because when we talk about Jacksonville, they are balling right now. And they are the scariest team in the AFC, quiet as kept. Nobody wants to talk about it, but quiet as kept. They're one of the top teams there, and they are somebody that you better watch. Trevor Lawrence is balling. He is balling. And we can sit up there and act like he's not, but he's balling. Trevor Lawrence, I always said, was a hell of a quarterback and whatnot. A couple of years ago when they ended up beating the Chargers, with everybody trying to sit up there and give everything to Herbert. But I'm like, Lawrence is a baller and whatnot and stuff like that. So him and Itne and then the defense that they got beat up Denver with old Bojic and everything like that. So it is what it is. But it's like, people better watch Jacksonville. That's all I'm going to say. Watch Jacksonville. Vegas and Houston, this could have went either way. CJ Stroud, I'm not seeing it, man. And they lucked out and got this. How many times have I told you guys that play? And I've explained this to people where I work at. When I talk football to other people, whether it's at bars or whether it's in my house or whether any of that type of shit. Remember that play when they was like, it's 3rd and 18 or whatever it was, and they just threw the ball up? I told you, that is a play nowadays. Hoping that the cornerback is just going to end up where he's going to throw the ball short and then hope for the cornerback, which 6 times out of 10, he's going to run into the wide receiver, and there it goes because he's not looking, and that's going to be a pass interference. And that completely changed the game. They had him on the 3 or 4 yard line, 3rd and 10 or whatever like that, and that's a play nowadays. That's a play. So I'm not really that impressed by Houston's defense is lights out. But they got lit up by Ashton Jeanty and whatnot. So it's like, we'll see what happens with Houston, but Stroud better start getting this shit together because he's not looking like the quarterback he looked like when he was a rookie. He was so last year, and this year he has been, So we'll see. Pittsburgh and Detroit. Hell of another great game and whatnot. Pittsburgh bullshit around and made this thing close. And the defense did what their defense did. And, like I said, this is the best Aaron Rodgers has looked since he was in Green Bay under Matt LaFleur. Detroit's done. Go back to what I said a couple of years ago when Campbell said, and he knows it, Texas kid, when he said, he's like, because they had their chance, because they should have been in the NFC Championship game or should have been in the Super Bowl, and they sit up there and let the 49ers get him because he's playing that 4th down shit. And he said, well, I don't know if we're going to ever get back because it's hard to get back. This and here we are. They're going further and further and further back. So we're going to see how they're going to finish, but I don't see anything good happening there. New England, Baltimore. Dude, right now, and I've always been a Harbaugh fan, he has to go. With that particular play, I don't give a shit if Henry fumbles. Henry, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he's out. You're up, and you do not use him. And nothing. He's a nail. And you got the other. I work with a cat that is a Baltimore fan. He's Baltimore everything, and he was already saying that. And Lamar gets hurt, and all this other kind of shit. People talk shit about it below. I have said this, and I will keep continuing to say this. The thing about Lamar's still on that fucking Randall Cunningham shit. And when I said, and I did a show about this, that Cunningham effect, I got to win with my arm. It's like, I think Greg Jennings, who played with Brett Favre over in Green Bay, he said, I have never seen, this was a couple years ago, never seen Lamar be Lamar in the playoffs. He has to be Lamar to be in the playoffs to get him to that fucking Super Bowl. If he doesn't, even though they had their chance year before last, that's what it should have did. It didn't happen. It's not happening this year. I don't see it happening. I hope as a fan, and then as a Derrick Henry fan as well, that they do what they do and end up winning the North. But it's like, that's Pittsburgh's is to lose. Okay? San Francisco, come on. I mean, Phillip Rivers, nice story, but that shit's not going. It's not going to play. It's not going to play. It's not going to happen. So we knew that with 48-27. I will say this. Shanahan, with all of the injuries and got them at 11-4, he should be considered coach of the year, bar none. Coach of the year, but that also goes to tell you about the type of franchise that San Francisco has. And why Dallas, with the bullshit that they do, you can't do that. You can't even get close to that. But 49ers has always been a first class organization. Let's do this here. This is one of your MVPs right here, and you're not even talking about. Everybody's talking about Stafford. You're talking about May. Let me see. Let me go back real quick. I don't even know if I even talked about it. I'm sorry. Let me do this. Yeah. I'm leaning. Going back a little bit to the New England, Drake May looked great. I like Drake May when he's in North Carolina. Solid quarterback, very good. And he's balling right about now with that of New England. Period. You're balling. Ain't nothing else I can say about that. At the end of the day, though, because Baltimore has no pass rush whatsoever. But if Derrick Henry, New England wanted no parts of Derrick Henry whatsoever. Anybody that knows football knows that they didn't want any part of him. But Drake May, he's up there in the MVP. But I'm going to go over here and talk about that of Cook, of James Cook. The guy is he can possibly finish with 1,700, 1,800 yards. He is on his O.J. Simpson, Thurman Thomas shit right now. The young man is balling. He is a straw that stirs his drink. If he's not there, Buffalo is losing. And this is the thing. If Buffalo can't get it together with this young man and with that of Josh Allen, you're done. Because this is the year. Mahomes is not in it. Lamar's probably out of it. It's all yours. Now go and get it done. Burrow's been out for 3 years. People keep talking about Burrow. Burrow's been out for 3 years. Shut the fuck up. I don't even want to hear anything about that. At the end of the day, if Allen doesn't get it done if he doesn't get it done with that of Cook, because Cook is the straw that stirs the drink. Much like Reggie Jackson with the 77 Yankees. You got to get it done, man. Got to get it done. If you don't get it done, it's done. And I don't hear nothing about anything else with him because it's some games where he's been subpar and he's not been very good. Shouldn't have won the MVP last year, but that's another story. But Cook right now, we're talking about someone. And his brother was nice. I still don't see why his brother's not in the league, but that's another story. 15-32. 15 games, 2 games left. He should have finished with about 1,700 yards. Almost 300 yards out the backfield. He's a difference maker. Hell of a back. And the thing about when we talk about backs, and I don't have a problem with a back who is shifty and coming out of the backfield. Can you milk the game? Cooks can milk the game. Thurman Thomas can milk the game. When I mean milk the game, they can milk it for minutes and sit up there and tire you out running between tackles and guards and whatnot and milk the game and salt it off and win in December going into January. That's the difference between that of Christian McCaffrey and all of them. He can't milk the game. He's not one of them guys. Cook is one of those guys. He can milk it. He can run it. That's why I say with Derrick Henry, run him 34, 35 times. It doesn't matter. I don't give a fuck if he can catch the ball. You run him because that's what you brought him here there for. Running back is supposed to be a running back. He's supposed to 25, 30 times rushing. Fuck the goddamn the receiving. Can he milk the fucking clock and get that touchdown and milk it for 4 or 5 minutes on 34, 35 fucking carries? That's what the fuck I'm talking about. No, we don't want to give. I say, okay, all right. James Cook should be in the discussion of MVP. Obviously, Offensive Player of the Year. Because if they can always give it to quarterback, then they'll give it a running back Offensive Player of the Year. At the end of the day, Cook needs to be in discussion in both. If he's not there, they're not even close to anything right now. So, Cook is my vote for MVP. Hell of a back. Liked him and his brother at the end of the day. So let me go run this thing down for week 17. Give y'all my picks and whatnot. We get it going on from there. Dallas and Washington. I'm going to pick Dallas, obviously. Detroit. I'm going to say Detroit. Denver and Kansas City. I'm going to say Denver. Houston and L.A. I'm going to give it to Houston. Baltimore, Green Bay. I don't know who's going to be playing. I'm going to give it to Baltimore because I don't know if Love is out of concussion protocol, but if he's not, and if Lamar's going to have to do what he has to do, and they're going to run the hell out of Derrick Henry because Harbaugh's taking a lot of heat. Seattle and Carolina, hell of a game. Upset of the week, I'm going to give it to Carolina. New England, New York, New England. Tampa Bay, Miami, I'm going to go Tampa Bay. Jacksonville, Indianapolis, I'm going to go Jacksonville. New Orleans, Tennessee, I'm going to go New Orleans. Pittsburgh and Cleveland, I'm going to go Pittsburgh. Arizona and Cincinnati, I'm going to go Cincinnati. New York and Vegas, I'm going to go Vegas. Philadelphia and Buffalo, that's going to be a great game. We'll see. I'm going to take Buffalo. Chicago, San Francisco, I'm going to take Chicago. LA and Atlanta, I'm going to take LA. All right, I'm going to take LA. All right, like I tell you guys, hey man, there's no GOAT, there's no greatest of all time as long as time is still going on. And like I tell you guys, numbers don't lie and get emotional, people do. I'll come back a little bit later, a couple of days. You guys have happy holidays, all that good shit and stuff like that or whatever. And we'll get back at you and whatnot. Like I say, there's no GOAT, there's no greatest of all time as long as time's still going on. And numbers don't lie and get emotional, people do. You guys have a great one.